Groceries are one of the biggest expenses in your life, with the average American likely to spend $500,000 on food over a lifetime. That's up there with buying houses, college fees and taxes. But what if I told you your grocery habits might be costing you thousands without you even noticing? Well, the truth is, saving on groceries isn't about clipping coupons or hunting sales. It's about making one very important decision. And today, I'm going to share that decision with you and take you through the 3-step process I use to get it right every single week. Get this right, folks, and you stand to change the entire path your grocery spending is on, and that could transform your health and change your future in the process. If that sounds like it's a good use of your time, you better stay tuned. So, I've run the numbers, I've done the calculations, and, well, I'll spare you the full breakdown here. The details are in the description if you're curious, but suffice to say, while many Americans will spend $500,000 on groceries in a lifetime, some will spend less, and some will spend a lot more. 2 adults and 2 children on a moderate to liberal budget will chew through close on $1 million of groceries by the time those 2 kids leave home and mom and dad are chilling out in a hammock on a veranda. You might agree that is a serious chunk of change. And there are a lot of things you can do which could transform the way you spend on groceries, helping that $500,000 go further, work harder, and buy better. I've talked about a lot of these tips and strategies in other videos like this one, and some others you might find valuable also in the description. Before we get into the game changer though, the linchpin to this whole grocery savings business, let's just recap on 3 of the best of those tips real quick. First of all, you've got to start a meal plan. This simple habit can cut your grocery bill by up to 25% by reducing waste and impulse buys. So over a lifetime, that could mean saving upwards of $125,000, which you can put into an investment account every month to spend on something way better than a packet of mac and cheese. Secondly, shift to store brands. Store brands can easily come in at half the price of the national brands, and more often than not, there's no discernible quality difference. So switching out the big brand names could save you thousands a year. Now, if you're up for a challenge, try this. Do one shop in somewhere like Aldi, buy all of the products you usually do, just in the house brands they have available, but don't tell your family. Now, at the end of the week, ask them if they noticed anything different. If they haven't spotted the packaging, I bet they won't have noticed a thing. Third and final one, shop the perimeter. Focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods living around the edge of the store, rather than those expensive processed options that live in the middle, and you'll stand to improve both your health and your wealth. But wait, I hear you say, those meats and veggies have gone up in price by more than anything else in the store of late. And yes, that may well be true. But here's the thing. By value, Americans spend significantly more in those middle aisles because there's so many choices, so many deals, and so much advertising designed to get you buying more. Challenge here for you. Do one shop where you only go into those middle aisles for 3 items. See how you go that week, because I guarantee you can make it through without those Pop-Tarts. And once you do, you'll never go back. These are all great ideas and they are well worth doing. But if you don't commit to the big one, you'll seriously limit the value you can take from them. So let's get to the main show. The one decision to rule them all. The absolute trump card is budgeting. Get this right, folks, and things are going to change for you very quickly indeed. Now, budgeting might not sound exciting, but hear me out. Because when I say budgeting, I don't just mean having a vague number in your head and hoping you stay close to it each week. I'm talking about 3 very deliberate steps that you must take, which I call Derive, Define, Direct. So, starting with step 1, we have Derive. Derive or understand what you are spending today. You can't build a plan without knowing where your money is going right now. So, if you're not already, you'll need to start tracking your food and grocery spend, and I suggest doing that for a minimum of the next 4 weeks. Now, we break it down by groceries, takeout, and snacks. That's the other bits and bobs we buy out of home to eat on the go. You can try with those, or you can substitute in your own categories, but what you're looking for is patterns and trends and problem areas, and trying to establish that baseline where you can say, this is my current normal, this is my current reality. When my wife and I first started tracking our spending, we were shocked to find out how much we'd actually been spending on takeout. It was way more than we thought. Now, there's no right or wrong at this stage. It's just crucial awareness and understanding of your own behaviors that is important. Step number 2 then is defining your goal. In other words, what is your new target number going to be? Without a defined limit, it's going to be incredibly hard to do this properly and hope to achieve good results. A few different ways you can do this, but I recommend again, you keep things simple. You take the average food spend that you calculated in step 1 and you divide it by 4.3 to get a weekly amount. Got a number? Great. Now, be totally honest and realistic with yourself. The USDA suggests around $250 per week for a family on a moderate budget. But if you're currently spending $400 a week, then it's not practical to think that you'll get down $150 in just the next few weeks. Set yourself a realistic goal, which could be something like cutting your spending by 10% per week for the first month, and be prepared to be flexible. Let's say your kids are under 8, like mine are today. Then in 2 years from now, they're going to be eating a lot more, and your target number is obviously going to change again. But the bottom line, always know in your mind what that number is. Now, before we land the third and arguably most critical piece of this puzzle, I have a question for you. Do you want to know more about food budgeting or healthy eating? On Grocery Dad, I talk about both because they're very closely related. But if you stop by my channel regularly, and if you don't, I'd love it if you did, which would you prefer more of? If it's budgeting advice, type budget in the comments. If it's healthy eating tips, go ahead and put health down there in the comments. And if you've gone to all that effort, hit subscribe while you're at it, and then you'll never miss out whichever topic comes up in future videos. So step 3, the final step in the food budgeting process, is called direct. Direct your efforts towards your goals. This is perhaps the most important part of the whole strategy, and it's actually a really simple but effective principle taken from a school of thought called neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. Simply how we manage our thoughts to get the best outcomes for a successful life. Now, in the context of achieving that grocery budget you've set out for yourself in step 2, what I'm talking about here is approaching this with the intention of hitting your budget, saving $100 a week, getting fit and running a 10K, or whatever other positive goal you've determined, instead of simply trying to avoid overspending. Now, at face value, you might think that doesn't really sound like it's going to make a lot of difference, but this is so important because when we're driven by trying to avoid something we don't want, we tend to find ourselves getting sucked back to that position or that thing over and over again. It's kind of like some sort of magnet pulling us back to the start again. Now, by contrast, when you flip your mindset and focus instead on the place we're trying to get to, we instinctively leave behind that less desirable place and find we're moving forward much more naturally to where we want to be in the future. It's really powerful stuff, and it's actually incredible when you first notice the huge difference that it makes to your thoughts and then to the results that you're getting. And incidentally, this works for any kind of change you want to make in your life. If this is something you're interested in knowing more about, there's a link in the description to just a short video from a guy I've studied with exploring what this idea of toward versus away looks like in all sorts of different aspects of your life. Fascinating stuff. But for the purpose of this video, where you want to be from now on, ideally, is looking forward, keeping your goal, your objective in the front of your mind and leaving behind the fear of overspending, overeating, and all the negative thoughts that go with that. For me, it's really helpful if I keep thinking when I've hit this number in 6 months' time, we're going to be closer to the deposit we want on a house. And that keeps me motivated and it keeps me on track. So go find your motivating goal with all this and let some good stuff happen. So guys, this is the $500,000 decision you have to make. Will you carry on doing what you've been doing, hoping one day to get your food spending under control, or will you define, derive, and direct all of your energy and all of your effort towards saving that money, eating that better diet, and taking control of your groceries and your goals? There's so much at stake, so, well, why not give it a try? Now, if you found this valuable, I'd love a thumbs up, a comment, a subscribe, and if this sounds like your sort of thing, check out this video next, because it's packed full of more grocery savings tips. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you in another video very, very soon.